Tell us about your astrology stuff you were talking about, Cairo.
No, I'm really into it, and it's not astrology. Like it isn't like signs and the Libra.
Is your moon rising or setting?
No, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about. So I've been researching Albert Einstein and his importance to the world.
Was he a Leo?
I'm gonna say he's a Cancer because that's how he died. But
That's such a Pisces thing to say.
sometimes I'm a Gemini, so it goes both ways. No,
You go both ways?
well, yeah, because I'm in the astrology, obviously. Listen, so I've been listening to Albert Einstein and his theories.
You've been listening to Albert Einstein. Does he have a podcast right now?
I was gonna say, are you also into like communing with the dead?
Is this a seance?
No, this is science. Pay attention. Listen, I'm trying to explain to you why I'm into it because it's like, see, now I'm afraid to talk. I'm gunshot because I was gonna say where the world is on the axis to where you can see Saturn, Jupiter,
Uranus?
well, you can see contrails. I meant to tell you that earlier. Mars, like you can see all these things, and we have so many new discoveries, and like science is advancing so fast. So the topic was, how soon do you think we'll be able to discover, alien life?
You mean in outer space?
So when I say alien, I get the term is relative, but yeah, intergalactic from outer space.
Interstellar.
And it doesn't have to be intelligent life. Just microorganisms.
I mean, I don't think we found intelligent life on Earth yet.
I honestly, and all jokes aside, that's why I was researching Albert Einstein. And it's like the discoveries that he came up with, the theories, they were so advanced, and it's like it was a brick wall after he made these discoveries. Of relativity, E equals MC squared, the speed of light, all of that, the way the Earth has its axis. After that, there was really no major discoveries after that. Like, he basically figured out everything that we needed for like 50 years. This is from 19...
I feel like Stephen Hawking is kind of rolling over in his grave.
Yeah. I feel like
he's rode his entire life.
That's also true.
But the thing is... Where are you hearing that from? Because I think what happens is you have like, of course he was who he was. Albert Einstein was who he was, and
but
there was
you know who he was? Like, this guy was the smartest person ever. Like, he was a one-man wrecking crew by himself. Like, the things that he came up with, he had no help. Like, there wasn't like a conglomerate of people, like scientists in the world. It was like, this guy was so smart that he was like the most Jewish person in the world, and even Hitler was like, "Hey, we have to protect this guy at all costs." Like, literally.
I'm trying not to talk over you so Isaac can hear.
Well, you shouldn't do that anyways.
Well, stop doing it to me. But
it's part of my strategy. That was my game plan for this episode.
But like Albert Einstein,
you could have talked over the part where he was like defending Hitler a little bit, or using Hitler as like a positive part of his argument. Did you just
defend Hitler?
Hitler was so smart. And I don't want to sound anti-Semitic, but Hitler was so smart that he
all right, guys, it's been a great podcast. We'll catch you guys next week.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so like Albert Einstein was really smart. He was a genius, like you say. He invented some things, discovered a lot of things. But for you kind of said like there was a roadblock for our culture as far as like
when I say human culture. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't think that's the way it works. It's like Thomas Edison invented something, and then it's like
don't get me started on Edison.
Like that was
Edison
during the revolution.
But what I'm saying is like you have these big discoveries and big inventions, and then you have like a time period of smaller things where it's not something very important. Like for example, peanut butter, wherever you want to put that in the scale, was invented, and then you had someone who invented something else.
Well, let's do the scale. Isaac Newton discovered that the Earth was round. Or
Okay.
Well, no, but it would have been Galileo that kind of made that first.
You got to remember you have like Socrates and Plato, all these people.
Those people weren't real. I'm talking about that's mythology.
What?
We don't need to hear about Socrates and Galileo.
I think I'm starting to understand. He knows nothing about science.
I do. I'm
You're an
He
astrologer.
just found a third grade book on like I know about Albert Einstein, and it's just like, holy
No,
crap!
this dude downloaded an app about astrology and started looking up his sign, and then realized he didn't know.
Well, no, the point wasn't about Einstein. Okay, so you have Galileo. What I'm saying is you have to level out what's more important. Not important, but you can't compare peanut butter to how the stars works, how galaxies work,
Right.
how gravity
Actually, you can, because here's the thing. How the stars work does not affect me at all. Peanut butter? That shit affects me very much. Every day. That's
my
way
life.
more important to me. Exactly. The peanut butter thing is way more important to me than the theory of relativity.
I mean, I get that. I was making a point. I just forget what it was, but it's like,
I mean, that is a very Gemini type of thing to do.
yeah,
It's
it is.
fine.
I was trying to get to how long do you think it would take until we find?
Intelligent life.
It doesn't
outside.
even have to be intelligent life.
Just
Never.
So like on Mars, I think they thought they discovered some frozen water or something, which means there could be organisms in the water and stuff like that. And I think it turned out to not be true, right? Maybe
Well, they haven't discovered.
It's inconclusive. Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't discovered it yet, but
But
I think it's plausible.
But again, though, let's say if there is, right, then what? What are you getting at? When you say how long?
Well, I was asking the question. I mean, we can go further into it, but I was just asking how long do you
what do
think?
you think, Isaac?
Well, that's
There was actually a very interesting book that I read one time about like intelligent life in the universe, and I think there might be a day when we find, like you said, like algae or some like single cell organism type of thing on other planets. I don't think we will ever find, if there is out there or not, I don't think we'll ever find a way to communicate with another intelligent species out there.
Yeah, I think if there was, I mean, how can I say this? So I actually believe there could be something out there in space. As far as us discovering it in our lifetime, probably not. But you never know. That could happen tomorrow. You know, it could have happened already and we just don't know about it. Or just the fact that there's nothing out there at all. But let's say if there is life outside of Earth, right? I feel like we have to get things right here on Earth before we are able to go out there, because we're, as it is, are going to war with each other, having so many
that's the
different.
point I was trying to get to.
We're having arguments about stupid stuff all the time. But then if our world expands to the point where we're going to different planets, or like discovering other organisms or intelligent life outside of our planet, that's just going to get even worse. You know, because it's going to be interplanet. I mean, I don't think we're able to travel that fast to other planets and stuff. But if there is a way and we start beefing with other planets and other species, that's going to be terrible, man. This stuff you see in like movies.
We can't even come together as a human race. So if we do have to go to war right now with, let's just say, Space Hitler, because that seems to be the topic of the episode. Like, how do we even get everyone together and be like, all right, forget all this stuff. The whole, slavery thing, that's in the past. We're good now. So let's all come together and let's go fight these other guys.
It'll have to be
Let's all join the Space Force.
Right. We literally have a Space Force now.
Yeah, we
by the
do.
way.
I mean but wasn't the Space Force because of like asteroids and like figuring out how to protect our Earth from things that can destroy us like that?
That's what they told us. And I'm not a tinfoil. I'm not one of those guys.
I don't know astrology.
No, I'm not. I'm not one of those guys. I'm
gonna
just
say.
saying. Do we need a Space Force for comets? We understand how comets work thanks to Albert Einstein.
But it's also,
Well, because we
Not-
know how things travel, why they travel, at the speed they travel.
And we understand if they can hit our planet, which means we need Space Force to get there and figure out how we can have this thing avoid our planet or something like that. Like Armageddon.
Exactly.
Bruce
That's
Willis.
the first thing I think of is Armageddon.
Like that's what a Space Force would do, right?
Yeah.
It's dedicated to finding out and like researching ways to.
Well, they have ways to redirect comments like that now, and sometimes it actually.
That's what you think, but I also think that it is also to establish a presence in the outer atmosphere, and like kind of like how we had the Star Wars program of the 80s, right? How do we defend ourselves from space, like from other countries on Earth from space, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's another reason why.
Wait, say it again.
So like what he's saying is like,
oh, okay, I get it.
Like if you're gonna send a nuke from space or through space, or like nukes can go into the atmosphere and then come back in and be undetectable that way, right?
I don't remember.
But
like it is just, I don't think it's not just about like defending ourselves from asteroids or whatever.
Right. So I'm saying the same thing. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a
conspiracy.
conspiracy.
Yeah, but you're also talking about astrology, so I'm not sure always 100% where you're going with things.
But does it not tie in though? The whole point I was trying to make
to astrology? No, it doesn't tie into astrology at all.
The whole point,
Isaac going hard.
Listen, look. The whole point I was trying to make is that we advance so much so fast that what do you think the next 5 years within the next 5 years?
I think you're thinking of astronomy.
Delete all that shit. Delete everything. It's Cairo from the Storytellers Podcast. If you like watching our video, you can see more on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to support the channel outside of YouTube, you can always use Patreon. Remember, like, share, subscribe. And if you feel like listening to us at work or in the car, remember, you can always use Spotify or Apple Podcasts.